What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Movies That Make You podcast, where movies are more than just entertainment. They're a catalyst for meaningful conversation. I'm Jonathan Sprang, and I go by Sprang, and most weeks we dive into movies to watch in preparation for a new release hitting theaters. But we don't stop there. We talk about the morals, the values, and the life lessons these movies have to offer. This week, we're doing a spotlight on Tom Hanks in honor of Apollo 13 being re-released. This is going to be an epic episode with 4 movies from Tom Hanks' catalog. We watched Big, Turner and Hooch, Forrest Gump, and Castaway to give the boys a little bit of insight into who Tom Hanks is as an actor. They knew him as Woody, but now they're going to know him as much more than that. So join us for that episode as we gear up to watch Apollo 13 in theaters. We hope you'll go check out our website. It's bio.site/movies that make you. There you'll find all of our links to all of our social media channels on YouTube, Instagram, and elsewhere. You can also find our podcast links to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also check out our letterbox, which shows you all of our lists on the movies that make you laugh, the movies that make you cry, the movies that make you scream, and everything in between. Before we dive into this week's episode, though, let's take a look at the next 4 weeks on the Movies That Make You podcast. Next week, we've got The Strangers Chapter 2 Prepisode. We watched The Strangers Pray at Night, and The Strangers Chapter 1. And I are going to be talking about those movies. They each had their own little flair to it, and we kind of dug it. So looking forward to the new one. So watch this episode so you can prepare to see Strangers Chapter 2. The week after that, we're going to be doing an episode called More Than the Fight. I've invited my good friend Nick Hot Coal Shepherd to be back on the show as we talk about 3 different fighting dramas, The Wrestler, The Fighter, and Warrior, all to gear up for The Smashing Machine hitting theaters that week. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson taking his stab at an A24 film, heavy drama, looks to be amazing. The week after that, we're going to be talking about Tron, the original classic with Jeff Bridges, and also Tron Legacy that was released just a few years ago. All that because we've got Tron Ares hitting theaters that Friday with Jared Leto, and Jeff Bridges is back. So we really like that. We really like the Legacy, but a lot of people didn't. But we're going to have a discussion around it anyways. We hope you'll join us. The week after that, we've got Scott Derrickson films. I've got a good friend of mine, J.R. Foresteros, from the Don't Split Up podcast and other things as well. You'll hear more about that on the episode, I'm sure. But he's a huge fan of Scott Derrickson. We've got Black Phone 2 dropping in theaters that Friday. So we're going to discuss his filmology and just kind of see what speaks to us through his films. What is he trying to say through his film? So looking forward to that conversation. Hope those episodes excite you. So without further ado, let's get to the podcast.
We are back with another Movies That Make You podcast. My name is Colton, and I'm going to be starting today because nobody else wanted to. And let's run it down from oldest to youngest.
I am Sprang, and I am the dad.
Connor, I'm 15.
I'm Colton, I'm 13.
I'm Ezekiel, and I'm 12.
Nice. And what are we talking about today, Colton?
Tom Hanks movies.
There is a re-release of Apollo 13 happening this Friday. And so we're talking 4 Tom Hanks movies that we watched in preparation for that. So we're going to have some fun with that. But before we do, let's do our musters. Yes, we like to do our musters when we play catch up. So,
Ketchup.
I know, right?
Yeah, it stinks.
All right, so let's run it down. Oldest to youngest.
We already
Connor,
did that. Oh,
No,
yeah.
like as in mustard.
I know. I thought he was going to say our age.
Yeah. All right, so Connor, how about you? How has your week been?
I guess I've been doing sim racing. Well, actually, I haven't been doing sim racing because I haven't, got to play on it. So I've been doing so much stuff.
Over the weekend, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. What have you been doing?
Like watching my phone or doing something else.
Yeah. We went to the farmer's market type thing yesterday after the podcast. So, see anything cool there?
I saw some candles and some yarn creations, and I think that's all that was appealing to me.
I saw some
Yeah.
bowls that I really wanted to buy, but there was
Some what?
bowls. There's some crystal bowls.
Okay.
I saw some 3D printed stuff. That was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Colton, how about you? How's your week been?
Good. I've been grinding on demonology, and I got the easel Big Flashlight, you're up next. And I just wasted $12 on David. Well, I didn't waste it, but I shouldn't have spent it. But I did anyways because I have money like that, you know?
I need to buy Robux because I need to make Thrag.
Oh my gosh, bro. Robux is way too expensive. Robux is way
Yeah, it's like $2.
like well, I'm still not. The reason I don't spend Robux is because I don't spend money on games anymore.
I'm only
I've
buying it
learned
for
my
a skin.
lesson.
I'm not actually using it for like the game.
Are you
I'm pay to win,
are
if
you
you
like
guys didn't know that.
purchasing Grandpa's ashes?
I got Grandpa's ashes and a disco ball.
That's
Like
so
in salt,
cute.
you like pour the salt on the ground, and I got Grandpa's ashes, so you can pour Grandpa's ashes on the
It
ground.
looks
But
gray. It looks gray inside the game.
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You're buying the disco ball, Connor? Yeah, that's the dance the ghosts do.
Nice. All right, Zeke, what about you? How about your week?
I'm gonna talk a little while about my week. I had so much fun. We did a live podcast. It was so fun. So I think I've been playing Fortnite a little bit more recently. I saw there were new skins, Beavis and Butthead, and then I saw an emote where it was like, and then he
Interesting.
turns into Cornholio.
I think that show's really weird.
I've never seen it. Also, I think I bought this new game. Well, it's not really new. It's called the Akinator, and it's really fun. So, yeah,
Okay, cool.
I thought it was free.
it was free.
Well,
yeah, I bought it. Like I bought
Well, you
the
downloaded it.
application. Yeah, I downloaded it.
Cool. What were you going to tell us, Colton?
Well, I was just gonna play some sounds, but you know,
Why are you playing sounds?
'cause they sound good.
What kind of sounds?
One sec.
Don't do any copyrighted stuff.
It doesn't sound that good.
I can do that too.
All right.
It sounds
No,
amazing.
we can't. Put it back, Zeke. All right. It did sound like computer keyboard clicking, so yeah, it is accurate. Very nice. My week was pretty good. We did had some good action happening at work. Shortened week because of Labor Day. Had fun with the live stream podcast, and big shout out to those of you that watched, and also thanks so much to all the good comments, nice comments on the chat. If you didn't check that out yet, I would go back and watch it. We highlighted a whole bunch of past episodes. We also highlighted a whole bunch of upcoming episodes, so you want to be a part of that. Papa Goss, Popalicious Popheads, the Horror Cat Dad, or joining us on the stream. So let's jump into the movies, guys. We had a lot of fun over the last few weeks watching some Tom Hanks movies. We watched Big, we watched Turner and Hooch, we watched Forrest Gump, and we watched Castaway. These are a nice, like, wide spectrum of his films. He started out in comedy, doing kind of goofy stuff, and so these films were somewhat of a way of him getting into the more dramatic roles to begin with, like Big and Turner and Hooch, and then way more serious for Forrest Gump and Castaway. So let's start with
Yeah.
So the story of Big is there's a kid, and he goes to actually a state fair or carnival type situation. They get there, and he gets kicked out of the line because he's too small to get on the ride he wants to get onto to impress a girl. So he goes to this wishing thing, and he wishes to be big. The next morning he wakes up and he's like in his 30s. He looks like he's in his 30s, so he has to go to New York and has to get a job and figure things out. Ends up getting a job at a toy making company, actually, and ends up being like rising to the top of everything because of his knowledge about toys, because inside he's still 10 or 12, right? So ends up getting a girlfriend, ends up doing well at his job, and then he starts to kind of get caught up into being an adult, and his best friend, his child best friend, basically ends up getting all the information about the wishing machine so he can go make the wish to become young again. And he's questioning whether or not he's going to do that. He ends up doing that and going back home, and that's kind of how the movie ends. I remember watching this movie as a kid, and I thought it was a really fun movie. Colton, why don't you go first? What was some of the standout? Like, do you have a favorite part of Big that you remember?
I like the way the Akinator thing looks like. I forgot what it was called.
I don't know what an Akinator is.
Like a
It's like a
genie.
genie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you like the look of the Zoltan.
Mm-hmm.
Zoltan. the Zolt who is tan.
All right, go ahead, Zeke.
So basically, he does a bunch of weird stuff with food.
What
He
kind of
he
weird
double
stuff?
dips. He double dips with chips.
Oh,
He
okay.
does a bunch of rules you're not supposed to break, and it's horrible, horrible.
Yes, he was at an office party and he didn't know how to eat half the food because it was all adult food and he'd only eaten kid food before. So yeah, that was funny. Anything else stand out, Zeke, about the movie? Oh, go ahead, Connor.
Like Colton, like chicken strips.
Yeah, that's all he knew how to eat was chicken strips and grilled cheese.
Yeah.
What else, Zeke? Anything else stand out about the movie that you liked?
The lack of knowledge this man possesses about business and everything. He's a child, so his imagination grows big. He doesn't have enough experience being an adult. Therefore, he doesn't know half the stuff he's supposed to do as a vice president. He's like a toy tester, so that part he gets, but he doesn't understand business etiquette and how you're supposed to act.
And does that play well for him or bad for him in the movie?
I admit it does play well in some parts, but it gets him a lot of enemies, or some enemies.
At least one enemy that was like super knowledgeable about business, and he ends up stealing that guy's girlfriend. So I mean,
like
kind of crazy.
Wow. Maybe.
Connor, what about you? What stood out about the movie for you?
His apartment looks pretty. Looks amazing. Be awesome to live there.
Yeah. What were some of the things that you liked best about it?
Having a trampoline inside.
Yeah,
Having
that was
a
pretty
trampoline
wild.
at all.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We got to mention the fact that he was maybe 6 or 7. 6, 7.
Maybe. He was not 6'7". He was definitely Sigma. What'd you think about his game idea? Remember the video game idea he had, of the video game comic?
That was a
idea.
That was a great idea.
Like a 2000s idea, but like in the big 2.5, that would go nowhere.
It was that would have been like so awesome. I would love to have a machine like that where you get to choose where the story goes. Would have been like so awesome.
It was cool for 1988 for sure, but it was basically like a digital comic book that he was talking about. So today it would be like an iPad tablet type comic book, where you're making decisions for the characters, and then that changes the story as it goes. There's probably comic books out there like that. I know video games are a big part of like that. There are certain video games where, based on how you choose, it changes the story down the road.
Like Undertale.
So, is that how that works? What's Undertale?
Basically, Undertale is like this role player game where you get to choose to kill every single monster or save every single monster and fight a big boss at the end and ultimately become their friend. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I must admit, it is a very dark game if you choose to eradicate every single monster and you're like grinding.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to go that route, but there was just this one boss, Undying the Undying. I could not get past them. Like, it was crazy. It was so hard.
All right, so I'm going to ask the question, and I'm going to go Zeke, Colton, Connor. So think about your answer. If you woke up tomorrow and you were 35, what would you do first? Zeke, you go first.
Yes. So I would probably sneak into your room, borrow some clothes.
We don't need the specifics.
Borrow some
so
clothes.
you would just get clothes. That's the big idea you would have at 35.
That's the big idea. Yeah. Hey. Then I would probably go try to apply for like a McDonald's job or like a business incorporation.
Okay. I was thinking something more like something you can't do as a kid.
Something
you
I
can
can't
always
do
get
as
a job. But
Okay.
let's let somebody else go. You think about it. If something else comes to mind, I'll let you share again. Colton, what would you do if you woke up and you were an adult tomorrow?
I would go to college for 8 years, and then I would become a doctor, and then I would do open heart surgery, but then I would slip a little microchip into their heart during open heart surgery, so I can use them as like an RC person.
Well,
Sounds
no.
like
I
someone
think
from
we're-
Invincible.
No.
Then,
Yeah.
No.
I'm not done. Then I would kidnap them and put them into a Barbie box and sell them on the
Okay.
dark web.
This is all very
That
interesting.
literally, there's
Oh
this
my
guy in
gosh.
Invincible that turns people into robots, and he's trying to sell them to the army to like, because they're superhumans, and he's trying to sell them to army.
Yeah, and I forgot I'm not putting the heart back in. Frickin' heartless.
So that's what's so crazy about this question is that you don't have any of those skills at 35. So you can't do those things at 35. You do to college for 8 years,
Well, then I'll
and that
just
would
do a
be
backflip.
43. And then you'd probably have to get a job to be a heart surgeon, and I don't know how long that takes. So you're probably like 60 by the time you actually get to act out your plan, your evil plan. All right, Connor, your turn. Tell us something that's like a real thing you would do if you woke up tomorrow as an adult.
I'd probably drive places and live in Japan, like have a
Okay.
new life.
With no
There you
money.
go. That's a good one.
Have a new life
With
in
no
Japan.
money, I'd take their
Tokyo
credit
Drift.
Yeah.
You would take the
Yes.
parents'
All right,
credit card.
that's a fairly realistic
Would
plan.
you pay them?
Fairly realistic plan. Have a different life, start over, go where you want to go that you can't go as a kid, right? That makes sense.
Mhm.
Zeke, did you have anything else come to mind besides going and getting a job? That doesn't sound very fun.
Well, excuse you. I'm kidding. I would probably just tell you guys. I would be like, you would probably believe me. I would tell you something that only I would know. I would say like banana or oatmeal cream pie or something, and then you guys would totally be with me.
What if they
You would,
think
like-
you're a random homeless person?
Right.
Then Dad would probably pick up his gun. And then
Banana.
just
I
shoot
don't
me.
have a
He doesn't
gun.
even have a gun.
Wait, what?
Not like that. I don't have a gun. I don't have a gun to
So,
shoot people. I have a gun that I got that I would use if I went hunting, but I don't go hunting. So
I didn't know that.
And then
I would if I was a kid and I woke up and I was an adult, I think the first thing that I probably would have done was go out to eat and eat whatever I wanted, like go to the restaurant I wanted. That's what I would have done as a kid,
man.
or go to the arcade by myself, like that stuff like that.
I would purchase so many molten cakes.
So boring.
You couldn't go to the arcade by yourself?
Not as a 10-year-old.
10-year-old.
But like just going and doing something like, like you guys always say, when I'm an adult, I won't have to. I can eat whatever I want, or I can. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Colton, you could
That
have
you
3
guys were
bags
going
of
to
chips.
answer. Yeah.
You won't have any screen
then-
time.
You won't have any limits.
No screen time.
I'll
No
watch
more
Instagram
screen
all
No
day.
distance.
screen time limits. Yay! Yo, that would actually be so cool.
I
That
could
would be
get
awesome.
Red Dead Redemption, GTA 6,
Oh.
and
Minecraft.
just
thing
like
that's
2
never coming
games
out.
I want to play.
Yeah. I actually have Red Dead Redemption for Xbox 360.
Wait, 2
So-
or 1?
I heard
can't
this.
remember. Well, I got one of them.
I heard this joke once. So for those Gravity Falls fans, you would vibe with this. So research shows that a ladder is 10 times more dangerous than a loaded gun. That's why I keep 10 loaded guns inside my house to make sure nobody sneaks in a ladder.
Nice. That's a good joke.
Oh my gosh.
I get it, because it's like, it's 10 times more dangerous, so you have to have 10 times stuff.
You have to have 10 times the gun.
I get it.
You have to
That's
have
good.
10 times the blaster.
Got the joke. That's good. All right, let's do it. Connor first. Let's rate it. What do you rate big?
Like 4.
Okay. Colton?
Like a 3.5.
Zeke?
It was really good. 4.
Okay. And I think I give it a 4.
Well, I give it a 4, actually.
Yo, that's awesome.
Cool. All right, that one came out in 1988. It was directed by Penny Marshall. This next one is Turner and Hooch. It came out in 1989 and is directed by Robert Spottiswoode. This is the story of a guy. He's a real type A type of personality. He's got everything in order. He's nice and clean. He's about to leave this city that he's been a private investigator. He's been a police investigator, but not a detective. It's like this other unit. And he's about to leave to go to a bigger city so he can be a detective. But he also is doing his last rounds, and we get introduced to this guy that lives on the dock that has a really big dog named Hooch. And the guy's complaining about some things going on at night in the fishing market thing. And so he doesn't think anything of it, but then the guy ends up being killed by some thugs from that fish market. And we end up going on this journey where he's trying to figure out what happened to his friend. He has to take Hooch, who destroys his apartment, destroys his car, basically makes him become less strict about all of his items in his house, and he kind of loosens up all that stuff along the way. But they end up trying to track down who it is. It ends up being people in power from the company, the fish company, and also the police department that end up being responsible for this drugs and money laundering situation. And so they end up saving the day. One fun call out about this is it also has the policeman from Die Hard in this as well, Reginald Vell Johnson. And so he plays a cop in this one, and he played a cop in Die Hard. And he was also a cop in Family Matters, I think. He was the dad in Family Matters when I was growing up. But he's a fun guy to see in these older movies. Very fun. So Hooch is a big dog and very messy, all that stuff. But it ends up being a lot of fun, shenanigans, all this stuff. So very cool. Anybody else? Let's start with Zeke. Zeke, what's something that stood out about Turner and Hooch that you like?
I like how the dog was just so destructive. He was like so me core for real. You know? Like, I'm just like the life of the party, you know? Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes. Yeah. Nice.
Sometimes.
Colton, what about you?
Sometimes I'm just chilling.
Oh, I like the dog. He was so awesome sauce.
Any standout moments?
When the dog got shot.
That was your favorite part?
My least favorite part, but you said standout moment, so it's like that's a standout moment.
Anything else that you liked about the dog? Like, what made him so fun? Because Zeke talked about his destructive nature. Oh, okay, same thing.
So messy. Yeah.
All right, your turn. What's your standout for?
I like the car chase scene, like halfway through the movie. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, they saw the guy at the wedding, right? And then they had to jump in a car, steal a car, and try to chase after him.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, the dog was just, I mean, drooly and nasty, drooly. Like he'd shake his head and flings drool everywhere. That was pretty gross, but it was fun. I mean, it was a cute dog. Like by the end of it, you kind of like get to love him, but he looks super scary. So that was fun. I liked when he had the guys. He put his neck around. His mouth on the guy that killed the old man because Hooch saw him, and so he put his mouth on the guy's neck and until he told him. It was basically like an interrogation technique. I thought that was kind of a fun thing. I just like the transition of the main character. You know, Tom Hanks, Detective Scott Turner becoming less rigid and just more kind of free. And the dog helped him kind of get there. So that was fun. All right. Let's have another question like we did last time for this movie. If you could have one dog type as an adult, what dog type do you want? And I'm going to have Connor go first.
Dog type, like a dog as a person?
No. Just your favorite dog. Like if you could own any dog, you'd want what?
Obviously a pug.
Yeah. What makes them so fun for you?
They're just little cute things, you know? And especially like when they're when they're cleaned, they look like epic. And you can hold them like a burrito. There was a video I saw. It was a pug next to a Cheeto Puff pillow, and they look the same.
That's awesome. Colton, what about you?
A Shiba Inu or a Chihuahua, but we don't need to talk about Chihuahuas.
Nah.
Shiba Inu.
Why don't we need to talk about Chihuahuas?
They're mean, but they're so like cute because they like their owner, but they don't like anybody else.
Yeah.
And Shiba Inus don't like anybody else. They only like their owner. That's why I like Shiba Inus, and they're so cool.
And what's crazy is I have an aunt that has a Chihuahua, and I have a grandma that has a Shiba Inu. So you've met them both. Pretty wild, huh?
But I didn't see the Shiba Inu.
You did. You just don't remember. It was on our Florida trip when we did Disney World and stuff. We stopped by her house.
Oh, that was a Shiba Inu?
Mm-hmm.
It was really small.
Yeah. Yeah, they aren't huge, but they're like fighting dogs, right? In Japanese. Are they Japanese dogs? I don't remember.
I think so.
Pretty sure they are.
I like the pug bark. It sounds really cool. They like scream. They don't bark. They just scream.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard a pug bark. I had a friend of mine that had a pug, and their tongue always stayed out. It was like this, like it could never be.
Oh,
in
like
their
the
mouth.
Deadpool one, the Deadpool dog.
Oh, Deadpool. Yeah, the Deadpool dog. Dog pool.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Zeke, your turn. What dog? If you could have any dog that you would want, what would you?
So basically, what happened was I didn't know many dog breeds, so I searched up most energetic dogs, and Sasha's breed came up, Border Collie. So obviously, I chose a Border Collie.
Nice.
Looks so cute.
But
look at it.
But Sasha was so chill.
She was. Yeah, she was an adopted rescue dog type situation. So we don't know exactly what may have happened to her to make her be so chill. Now, I will say she was not chill around other dogs.
Oh,
She
would nip at their legs.
She was like herding them, as in herding, not hurting. Herding them to like making sure that they stayed like Decker. I remember one time she was like just circling Decker and growling at him the whole time. It was pretty crazy. What's up, Colton?
Shiba Inus are $3,000.
Okay.
How much are pugs?
How much did a little cost?
I'm not going to discuss that.
Why not?
Because that's
so
personal.
Expensive?
That's personal.
No, it's just personal. Growing up, I always wanted a German Shepherd. I thought they were cool, and a lot of it because of like seeing them in movies, like in TV shows. They're always the cop dog, and they always just looked awesome. So that's what I always wanted. We would have to have a larger house, I think, and maybe a bigger backyard to have a German Shepherd. The other one that we've talked about is a Weimaraner, which is basically a big gray version of Leia. They're not as big as a Great Dane, but they're like 60 pounds instead of being like 40 pounds like Leia is. What were you going to say, Connor?
The pugs range between 1,200 and 2,500. And that's kind of it's kind of expensive. They live like only like 8 or 10 years, like 8 to 10 years or something.
Yeah. Yep, that's it, Zeke.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, anytime you're going to get a dog that's a full bred dog and you're going to go to a breeder, they're going to be kind of in that price range because it's expensive. But you can always go get a rescue dog. Yeah, it does.
There's a dog that's worth $5.7 million.
What kind of dog is it?
I gotta go open the tab again. A Catabom Okami.
A Catabom
between a wolf and a Caucasian Shepherd.
Interesting.
That sounds cool, though. I have no idea what that means.
Very nice. All right, let's go ahead and rate it. Turner and Hooch. What do you got, Zeke?
Really good. Did not like when Hooch almost died. Did he die?
He died.
He saved the owner.
Well, I did not like that part, but other than that, pretty good movie. Like a 4 again.
Okay.
That's right.
Colton?
We're getting a 4.
Since the dog died, it gets a 0.5. But if the dog didn't die, I'd get like a 4.
So basically,
what about you, Connor?
Like, I didn't like that the dog died, so it gets 3.5.
Okay. And I gave it a 4. And just kind of going back on Big, I did give it a 4.5 on my Letterboxd. But yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. I liked it growing up, and watching it again, it was a lot of fun. Very nice. All right, let's jump to Forrest Gump. This movie came out in 1994. It was directed by Robert Zemeckis. Starred Tom Hanks, obviously. Robin Wright plays his childhood friend. They grow up. We don't really get an idea for necessarily what Forrest Gump's condition is. We just know he has a low IQ, and he also had some issues with his spine growing up, and so he had to wear leg braces. And he's made fun of. He's picked on. This girl Jenny ends up befriending him, and they hang out, and they become lifelong friends. But what's the unique thing about the movie is that as Forrest is getting older, he's in all these historic moments in the life of America, of the United States of America. And so all these historical pivotal moments and people he ends up interacting with by random. He ends up going to the Vietnam War, meeting a guy named Bubba. They end up saying that they're going to go into business together to do a shrimping boat. Bubba ends up getting shot in Vietnam, and Forrest ends up doing that. Gary Sinise plays Lieutenant Dan, who ends up working with Forrest on the shrimping boat. He ends up basically building a shrimping empire, becoming kind of well-to-do, well-off, and he's able to kind of do what he wants to do. Jenny ends up coming back into his life a few times, and they end up getting married, and she ends up actually having a child of his that he didn't know about until towards the end of the movie. And then when she passes, he ends up raising little Forrest, who is from the movie Sixth Sense. He played the main character in Sixth Sense opposite Bruce Willis. And that guy is Haley Joel Osment. So this was his first, like one of his first films before he did Sixth Sense. And he was the Forrest's son. So that's kind of the story, and let's jump into it. Colton, what's your favorite part of Forrest Gump?
Oh, it's just like the whole movie, because it was like part to part to part. It was just really cool, and it was like a 2-hour movie, but it felt like maybe an hour and a half to 3 hours.
Any favorite people in history that you liked seeing in the movie, or did you not recognize them? Was anybody that you recognized?
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Okay, yeah, you knew that guy.
And
did you know that?
Herbert,
go ahead.
No, Ron. No, I forgot his name. And JFK too.
Okay. Did you know that we have a LBJ interstate in Dallas for Lyndon B. Johnson? LBJ.
I knew we had a George Bush.
We do have George Bush also. Yeah, cool. Connor, what about you?
Favorite what's part the question? Of Forrest Gump? That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run. I think him running was the best part.
Connor, you should have ran with him.
3 years later, I think I'm getting tired.
How does he I'd like to go for 3 years?
This movie also like changed the way I like see it, because I watched it when I was 7, and I didn't get any of this stuff. I was just watching it for fun, and then like now that like I know all this stuff, it just is like way different. Like it makes way more sense.
It's awesome. Any historical figures that you liked seeing in the movie that you didn't remember the first time watching it?
Like every single one of them. I was 7. I didn't know anyone.
But was there somebody that you recognized, or you recognized the Nixon. First guy that was
Nixon, JFK, Nixon, and I was like about it.
The guy with the guitar, you called that out.
Oh, Elvis.
Yeah, that was cool.
I knew Elvis. You gotta give me some time. The king of rock.
I remember Elvis kind of like did that one guy's walk where he was like
Yeah, that was a cool moment. All right, Zeke, what about you? What's your favorite moment of Forrest Gump, or favorite part?
Probably when he shows the president his butt. That's probably
that was pretty funny.
That's a really funny
silly.
One.
So I think the funny part watching it this time for the president piece was that he's like, the second time he goes, I had to go to the White House again and meet the president again. And he's like so annoyed by it. I thought that was kind of funny. We paused a few times and tried to give you some historical context, because a lot of this stuff is, if you don't know what those historical moments are, it's hard to really know exactly the importance of the moment and the importance of what Forrest is doing. But yeah, there's a lot a lot of cool scenes like that. And like I said, it was the first time that we really had seen stuff like this, where we took real historic footage and like plugged in a modern person into that scene. And they did a really seamless job. For the most part, you didn't really pick up on the fact that it was something different. That there was somebody, it looked like it was all legit. So, but yeah, I really like that. I think one of my favorite scenes is when Lieutenant Dan basically is like screaming at God and saying, try and take me down. You will not sink the ship. And then the next day, the ship is fine. The boat is fine. But it also is kind of like Forrest said, he felt like that Lieutenant Dan found peace after that encounter. So, sometimes we go through life and we have to let all that anger out. He had, gotten, lost his legs in the war, and that's just, you can feel really depressed for that reason, that you're having to spend the rest of your life in a wheelchair and things like that. That can make anybody depressed. So he just kind of faced that. And then by the end, he did get some fake legs to help him so he could walk again. So it was cool to see that transition too. All right. So following the same suit we did the other movies, what is one person from history that you would like to meet, Zeke?
Ooh, that's a good one. I really don't know. Maybe you should come back to me later. I'll probably think of something.
Okay. Connor, do you have somebody from history that you would like to meet?
George Washington.
Nice. Any particular reason why? Or what, do you know what you'd ask him, talk to him about?
He's just first president.
Yeah, that's cool. Colton, what about you?
Controversial, but John Wilkes Booth.
Why?
That is very controversial.
Do you guys know who he is?
He killed
Abraham
Lincoln.
Yeah.
And why do you want to talk to
I
him?
have something I want to show him.
What?
What's that?
It's a secret.
You probably want to
But
show him.
You can't have secrets on the podcast.
He's dead.
President.
He's not a president.
It's not your favorite.
Abraham
president.
Lincoln was my favorite president.
Oh, I got you. So you would want to take him out?
He's gonna meet my friend.
Yeah,
okay, I
he's
get it
gonna
now.
meet my friend too.
Yeah, my little friend. So why is Abraham Lincoln your favorite president?
He abolished slavery. And he
That's a good
won the
reason.
Civil War.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Zeke, what about you? Did you come up with somebody?
I was listening to Colton. I think I might want to meet John F. Kennedy.
Okay, that's
so
a good
I can
one.
figure out who shot him. That way I could be a
maybe.
millionaire. I'm kidding.
Don't we know
and
who
you would
shot him?
probably die too.
Christopher Columbus.
Okay.
Christopher Mr. Columbus.
He's such
because
a
Okay.
bad person, but okay.
he
I
founded
know.
America, buddy.
I know, and he killed all the natives there.
Right. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
but he founded
problems in
our
history
place.
for sure.
Imagine a place where we couldn't have electronics.
Wait. I know a better figure. What if we did God? What if he brought me back?
You would meet Jesus.
I don't think.
Yes.
Meet Jesus. That's what Paul Rudd answered when he was asked this question. He said Jesus Christ.
I got.
'cause it was
I did not
He's
know we
basically-
were speaking
of
religious.
things that Christopher Columbus did. He introduced measles, smallpox, influenza to America. Which killed 90% of the native people.
Yeah. We got a lot of bad stuff in our history. So we try to live a good life now. Try to remember that it's not all good, that we can't just celebrate everything. For the good that it did, we have to also remember the bad, so we can, make better decisions in the future. So good stuff.
Radioactive wasp.
Oh, you're good. You're good, buddy.
Stupid.
Really?
So let's go ahead and rate it. Let's rate Forrest Gump. What do you got, Zeke?
Really good movie. 4.5.
Connor, how about you?
A 5.
Okay. Colton?
5.
Nice. And I gave it 4.5.
Bro, give it that extra 0.5.
No, it's okay. I liked it. Cool. All right. So let's jump to the last movie. The last movie is Castaway. Tom Hanks plays a FedEx employee that basically travels the world and trains groups, trains teams to do better and to be better FedEx employees and get packages shipped on time, all that stuff. He goes on this one trip to try and make this delivery and the plane ends up crashing. He ends up on a deserted island, and he has to figure out how to survive. Lots of painful events happen along the way. And then 4 years later, he ends up being able to get off the island and get back home. And then he has to face the world that thought he was dead. So a lot of things have changed, and he had to kind of figure out what he's going to do next in his life. And by the end of the movie, he decides he's going to live his new life and not just be stuck in the past. So, yeah, fairly lots of cool interactive moments, cool survival things along the way. And of course, he befriends a volleyball named Wilson. Colton, let's do what's your favorite part? Let's have you go first. Favorite part of Castaway?
I like the volleyball, but I didn't like when he got like the coral and like the stabbing at the end. It was a very beautiful movie. The tooth, honestly, it looked bad, but like after he already poked it, it wasn't that bad.
Connor, what about you? Castaway, favorite parts?
All the stuff he did. I like when he did the coconut stuff, and he used the stuff from the packages to actually make stuff. And I like all the building. That was pretty cool. But would that still be illegal? Because you're not in like you're not in a country or anything. So
what do you mean illegal?
Because
to
you're
open
not
other
supposed
people's
to open
packages?
other people's packages. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's extenuating circumstances because the packages would have been lost forever anyway. So I think they would have given him some grace on that. To that point, I thought about you, Connor, about halfway through some of those. I was like, yeah, Connor would do well in this situation because he'd figure out what to do, how to make whatever he needed to make to survive. But I did like the transition from we saw him getting things started, and then by the time he gets to the 4 years later, he's like got an axe and he's got like all the tools and stuff that he's built over the 4 years. He just kind of figured everything out and made all that he needed to make, and including like turning coconuts into water bottles and like I said, making the axe and then making the spears, all that stuff. So it's cool.
At first I would find water, but then after that I would clear the area because there's like branches everywhere, and that it just doesn't help because you could step on something. So I would just move everything to the side and then make my hut.
Nice. Zeke, what about you? What's your favorite part of Castaway?
My favorite part of Castaway was probably when he kicked out Wilson and then he found him. It was just like, no, Wilson, no.
So what about that made it your favorite part?
It was so emotional for him. He was being so like mad at the world that he got rid of his one and only friend. And he was like, no, Wilson, no.
If you were trapped on a deserted island, what is the one item you would hope that you would take with you?
Easy.
So like sometimes, as an example, sometimes people will say, what's the one album you'd want to take, or like the one CD of music? What's one artist? What's one movie you'd want to take, or what's one book you'd want to take? But I'm not putting any of those types of stipulations, but it can't be a phone. It can't be, it can't be a phone because it's not just like you won't have service. So what's one thing you'd want to take on a deserted island with you? Connor, why don't you first?
Probably an axe.
That's a good item.
Also, you can use your shirt to filter water. You just have to stack it. And it'll take a really long time, but you can still use that.
Okay. Good to know. Colton, what about you? What's the one thing you'd take?
The USS Arizona.
Is that a pirate ship? What is that?
It's one of the biggest ships in the world, and it's a decked out battleship.
Do you know how to drive it?
Well, you can't have that on a deserted island. It wouldn't be able to dock at the deserted island because it's too big. You wouldn't be on a deserted island at that point because you'd have a boat to get off.
I'll have a jet ski then.
Okay, so a jet ski. I'll let you have the jet ski. Zeke, what about you?
I would probably bring 10,000 pounds of.
Try again.
It's gotta be realistic.
Okay, it's gotta be realistic.
One thing.
Okay, yeah. One thing? Okay. I would probably bring a lighter.
Okay. That's a good one.
Then
Based
I'd
on
be
the
able
movie.
to start a fire easily, and then a ship would notice it, or like a helicopter or a plane, and then they would be like, oh, there's some person over there. They need help. I should probably go towards them.
Yep. That's a good one. That's a good
And
one.
for being for real, I'm bringing a box of, what's it called?
Cookies.
No, you wish.
Chips ahoy.
I am bringing
Ahoy, matey.
Adam Sandler.
Okay. And he's able to be any character from his movies that he's ever been.
No, he's just funny.
So he can be a singer. He can be a wedding singer. So he'll keep you entertained.
Yeah.
He can be Happy Gilmore and show you how to play golf. That's a good one. That's a good one. I already did the historical figures, so I could have done who would you want to be on the island with. But very nice, very nice. All right, let's go ahead and read it. Castaway, also directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it came out in the year 2000. So good stuff. What's up, Colton? What'd you rate it?
Like a 4.5.
Okay, Zeke.
3.5. It honestly wasn't that entertaining.
Anyways.
Connor, how about you?
Honestly, like a 4.5.
Yeah, it was like a
cool.
4.5.
A 4.5.
And you know
So
that's all.
4.5.
I did a 4. So good stuff. All right, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. What's up, Colton?
Gotta wait 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, end it.
Alrighty.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly an
Mr.
hour
Krabs.
podcast.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Again, you can check out all of our links at bio.site/moviesthatmakeyou. Feel free to drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. So until next time, keep watching movies.